We are back, Silver and Blue Huddle Part 2, second taping of this, but we're back, Season 2 of the Silver and Blue Huddle, Cowboy Nation, Richblkman, So Amazing, Esper Corner. We're back. We're excited to be back to give you guys more Cowboy Nation football. It's been a long time, a few months since we actually recorded this podcast, but not a lot of things going on, but football is back this week. I'm excited. The fellas are excited, and we're back. It's our year. The Cowboys didn't do much in the offseason, but we got our number one receiver locked up. We're looking to get our quarterback locked up, so it's going to be our year. So let's get right into it, man. We got a lot to talk about. Fellas, welcome back. Let's just hop right back into it, man. CeeDee Lamb is back. Nice little fat little contract. Let me know y'all thoughts on that real quick, since it's part 2.
4 years, $136 million, $39 million signing bonus. Right. That's how we started off right there. CeeDee Lamb got paid. I don't know about you, but I'm loving it. I'm loving that we secured up one of the best receivers in the league, and he got a star in his helmet. I got a star behind me. I got another star over here. So, yes, I'm very excited about this contract.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, anytime you can re-sign, one of the top offensive weapons in the entire league back on your roster is always a good thing. Obviously, him and Dak have a big connection. They love playing with each other on the same field. And so, you get a guy that obviously looks like he's in amazing shape. My only thing is he missed all of camp, missed all of OTAs. So is there any rust? I mean, it's different to get into game shape than it is just to be on the beach running up and down, looking good on the camera in shape. But we'll see. Obviously, this is the part of football nobody likes, when a guy's holding out. And there's a lot of guys doing that. I mean, Jamar Chase he may not even play this week because he's holding out. You saw the left tackle in San Francisco holding out. He finally got his contract. He's going to play.
Sean Reddick in the Jets.
Sean Reddick probably not playing week 1. Right. Brandon Ayuk was holding out. He got his money. So, anytime you get a guy like CeeDee Lamb who's going to, again, be one of the top 3 wide receivers in the league, is always good. Now we just got to find a way to get Dak signed under contract, figure out how the Cowboys do that. And then, I mean, they have a lot of guys coming up. You got to pay Micah Parsons. Tyler Smith is coming up. Deron Bland is coming up. There's a lot of guys that they're going to have to find a way to get some money in these contracts. And so big active couple seasons coming up for Jerry Jones, figure out how to do that.
Yeah, and just speaking on Dak Prescott, man, he definitely deserves his money. He definitely deserves to get paid. If the Cowboys don't pay him, somebody else will immediately after free agency starts. So once he decides that he don't want to play for the Cowboys no more, he's going to have a list of teams just waiting to sign him to that big contract of being the highest paid quarterback ever in the NFL. So I'm hoping the Cowboys find a way to sign Dak, because I really do not want to go back to the Quincy Carters, the Chad Hutchinson quarterback days where it just was bad. It was bad watching the Cowboys, and I don't want to go back to that. I mean, signing Dak to a bigger contract is going to hamper the team long term, but as long as we winning, as long as we're able to maybe just get in the playoffs and then try to make some noise at the quarterback position, and we're not starting over with a rookie or starting over with somebody that's well past their prime, such as a Russell Wilson or something like that, then I'm good. But we got to find a way to keep our quarterback, man.
Yeah. I mean, the other option is you're going to put Trey Lance in that spot.
Right.
And Trey Lance just hasn't shown anything of being. I mean, he has spots where he looks good, and you're like, oh man, maybe this kid can play quarterback. And then he throws 5 interceptions in a preseason game, and you look up and you're like, no, this not the right guy. So I'm with you.
I feel like he got happy feet. He got happy feet sometimes. I'm like, stay in the pocket.
He has happy feet, and then he also has a cannon for an arm. He can throw the football, but a lot of times he's overthrowing, he's underthrown. He's not throwing on time. He's throwing late. Just a lot of things that, you get spoiled when you get a Dak Prescott playing quarterback for you.
Right.
That you don't want to go through that process of trying to find the next guy because we've been through that, and I don't want to see that again. So
I think the best case scenario for us Cowboys fans is have Dak Prescott go out there, ball out, give us a phenomenal season for us to watch so we could talk our trash, so we could enjoy our games, we could eat our food, drink our beverages, and pump our fists with our family and friends. And then, listen, if we get ourselves a Super Bowl or NFC championship, listen, I would have no problem clapping my hands and say, thank you, Dak, for all the memories. If another team wants to go pay him and we can't afford him, I would be cool with that. So I'm going to say that now on record.
And for the love of God, Cowboy Nation, can we please stop saying put in Trey Lance? The man played in preseason. You saw exactly what he did. he is not it. He is not the starter
I
for the
mean,
Dallas
listen, the
Cowboys at all.
greatest position in all of football is the backup quarterback, right?
Right.
It's what everybody chants for. We want to see the backup. But listen, the backups are backups for a reason, right? Teams don't put their best quarterback on the sideline and say you're the backup quarterback. That's not how it works, right? It's just not how it works. Yes, can Cooper Rush come in and be serviceable in games? Yeah, sure. He can come in and beat the Minnesota Vikings. Sure, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But is he going to go out there and beat the 49ers? Is he going to beat the Eagles? The Chiefs? No. We don't have that quarterback on the roster unless it's Dak Prescott. So, you know,
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
I've said before, Cowboy Nation, they love asking for the backup quarterback. Dak Prescott has proved he's an elite quarterback. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. They got to find a way to put him on the roster for the next 5 years.
Right, I understand. And even like speaking about roster moves that we did, we actually brought back one of his roommates in Zeke. And then we also signed Dalvin Cook as well. So the running back room is kind of full. So let me know what you guys think about week one other running back room. Running back by
When it comes to
committee
running,
or starter
yeah,
or
yeah, I was gonna say running back by committee. Rich, you're right there. Running back by committee. My only thing is people don't like it. Fantasy football fans don't like it.
no.
I get it. It's not cute. It's not nice. The stats don't look good. But I just think for this Cowboy team, it's gonna be the right move just for this season because we have fresh legs going in every single time. A good rotation of these running backs. We have Rico Dow. We have Ezekiel Elliott. Dalvin Cook, if he gets, if we don't know yet about Dalvin Cook yet. We got to see. We still got to see how he meshes with the team, how healthy he is. We got to see how that works. And then Deuce Vaughn, he's going to come in probably situational for certain situations. So I like running back by committee this year, but for health wise and rotation. But I know it's not going to look pretty.
No, absolutely not. I mean, did we even evaluate? Did Dalvin Cook even get moved up to the regular roster yet? Because I know he got signed to the practice squad. So is he even going to be available for week one? Do anybody know? Is he going to be
Yeah, he
playing?
is. I don't think they've announced that he's going to be ready. I don't suspect him playing versus Cleveland. I think it's going to be Rico Dowdle 1, Ezekiel Elliott 2, Deuce Vaughn 3.
Right.
And then obviously they're going to play, Luke at some point, Luke Key at some point. Obviously they like bringing Hunter in and having him be kind of that fullback role and then handing him the football at certain times. But kind of like what So Amazing said, I mean, this is going to be a game where you look at the stats afterwards and Rico's going to have 46 yards. Zeke's going to have 26. Dalvin may have 22. And then, if you give Hunter the ball a couple times, he's got 16 yards. They don't look good. But if you put it all together as one running back, it's going to be, a good run game. But this run game has to be exceptionally better this year than it was last year and take some pressure off of the quarterback position. I don't suspect we need Dak back there throwing the ball 45, 50 times a game for 17 straight weeks. I don't like that. Obviously, there's going to be some hits, misses, and hits that he's going to have to. We're not going to have a choice, but we got to get this run game going. And then I like Zeke coming back, not so much because he's a premier back. He's not going to get the ball 25 times. It's just not who he is anymore, right? But Zeke is going to give you that short yardage gain. He's going to fight for those 2-3 yards. He's going to protect your quarterback in pass protection. He's very, very good at that. So again, I'm with So Amazing. I like the running back by committee. I need Mike McCarthy to understand that, hey, Rico's having a really good game. We're going to lean on Rico right now. Or Zeke's having a good game. We're going to lean on Zeke. And those guys got to be, unselfish and say, listen, I may only get 4 carries this game, or I may not get any carries because Zeke's playing well or Rico's playing well. So we'll see. Obviously, it all comes down to those front 5 guys, those big boys.
Yep.
And adding Cooper at center, adding Tyler at left tackle. Can these 5 guys mesh and push the pile and be that dominant offensive line we expect in Dallas? And I think they can. I think this is a good group.
Right. I agree. Whatever happened to the Malik guy, the running back? Did he leave? He was
Oh, you
on the
talking
team
Malik
last year.
Davis? I don't think he's there.
Malik
Yeah, I think they
Davis?
cut him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, on the defensive side of the ball, we did add some new additions on the defensive side. Kendricks, and then we also have
Yeah.
Overshown coming back as well, and we also have a new DC as well, Mike Zimmer. I mean, I know we had some pretty good defensive games in the preseason. I hope that carries over to the regular season. I mean, they was like pick City all like every pretty much preseason game that I saw, especially one against the Chargers where they had like multiple ones. So like I said, I hope that defensive intensity carries over into week one, and also every single week we're able to see
Yeah.
that. So let's talk about defense additions and talk about the defense before we jump
I
into
was gonna
week one.
say, you got to realize Mike Zimmer. This is not his first rodeo with the Cowboys.
No.
No.
You got to remember that, Cowboy Nation. All right, and I know some young people probably watching this. Zimmer's been here before.
Yeah.
He knows the pressure of how good a Dallas Cowboy defense needs to be under the pressure over in Jerry's world. So we literally brought him over here because we had a struggle against stopping the run. Right now, he has a defensive structure and strategy to slow down the run. He likes the big boys up front. That's why we got Linval Joseph and everything like that. You know, to coach up, hopefully coach up Mozzie Smith and say, hey, I need you to do what I did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm very confident in this year's Dallas Cowboys season, regardless of the injuries. I know injuries really hamper a defense, but I think Zimmer, his style of coaching defense, this is not his first rodeo in Dallas Cowboy Nation.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that. I'll let you go into further detail with that one, expert.
Yeah, obviously,
I like it.
You know, So Amazing brings up Linval Joseph. They brought Jordan Phillips in as well in that defensive line rotation. You know, is Mozzie Smith going to take that next step at defensive tackle? We're going to find out. Obviously, I think this is a make or break year for Mozzie Smith. He did not have a really good year last year. He was absent for a lot of the games. And so he's got to really have a really good year. And they've talked about that quite a bit. Then you go to that linebacker position. If you remember last year, we had Marquise Bell playing linebacker all the whole year.
Safety.
Right. And so now they've moved him back to safety, which I love him at safety because he's got linebacker mentality, but he's got talent to play at that safety position. You saw him in the preseason play well. You bring Kendricks in. He's a veteran, a really, really good linebacker. You still got Damone Clark, who kind of gets the guy that's kind of get forgotten. Damone Clark had a great year last year for us, and he's back playing that position. You get Overshown back, who's healthy. You get the young guy, Ta'afu, I think is his name. Played exceptional in the preseason. Matter of fact, he may be the starting linebacker next to Kendricks. And then, of course, you got Micah Parsons still. You got DeMarcus Lawrence. You got Trayvon Diggs back from injury. Obviously, losing Deron Bland kind of hurt there at the end of camp. He's going to miss probably the first 6 games.
Right.
But I really like it. Carson's got to step up and play good in that outside corner. I think he'll be serviceable. We got to listen. Al Harris has been known to get the best out of those corners. He's got a really, really good coach to put him in positions. I feel confident with that. And then, of course, you still got Jordan Lewis at that nickel spot. So you got a really good team. This is a much improved defense. And then So Amazing talked about Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer is going to get after you. He is going to find ways to get guys fresh in the game, coming free, going after your quarterback, and he is big about stopping the run. You talked about having those big boys in the middle. That's the Mike Zimmer MO, right? He wants those big uglies in the center at the defensive tackle, at the nose tackle, and kind of clog all that up in the middle. You got speed at linebacker to go sideline to sideline. This team we talked about the offense got to run the football. This defense has to stop the run. That is my number one thing for defense. You got a great secondary. You got good linebackers. You got to find a way to stop the run game, or else we're going to get back in the playoffs and teams are just going to run the football down your throat. You can't have that. Got to stop the run. And I'm excited for that.
And I feel like that's what this Browns matchup is going to be. It's going to be.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't doubt that Zimmer can't dial up a blitz. I know he'll be able to figure something out and dial up a blitz and like do something. I'm not worried about that. I'm really worried about like when the Browns come on first and goal, or first and 10, and can you stop the run? Can you force? Because think about it, we're going against Watson. Watson really hasn't been playing football lately. So, I mean, it's really the pressure's on him. Zimmer is going to come out and he's going to show him a whole bunch of different looks.
Yes,
he knows he hasn't really been playing football that much. So, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, Mike, this is a trap game. The Browns, you know, that pass rush, what are they going to do? And honestly, my strategy for that is just don't. Of course, listen, you don't want to put Carson on Amari Cooper. Yes, Amari Cooper probably going to beat Carson one-on-one. You know what I mean? But we need to figure out how to stop that run so we're not in situations where Amari Cooper could do a double move and kill our corners. That worries me.
Right. So week 1, right? Cowboys on the road at the Browns. Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson, Myles Garrett, CeeDee Lamb. How do you think that's going to go? We know we wasn't a great road team last year. I mean, we won a lot of games at home or whatever, but on the road was definitely where we kind of struggled, and we're on the road on week one. Before I give my predictions and what I think about it, what do y'all think about the week one
Yeah,
matchup?
obviously, you have to find a way to slow this game down offensively and run the football, right? Because if you step back, like we talked about, and throw this ball 30 times, 35 times, this pass rush for Cleveland is absolutely filthy. That front four is getting after you, and they can put pressure with three guys on that defensive line, and so you got to find a way to slow that down. The run game's got to work, draws, screens, things like that, and then take your shots when you get that opportunity. Defensively for us, though, obviously Chubb being out is a big miss for the Browns, not having their number one guy. But they do have some good running backs in that stable. So it's going to be about stopping the run and forcing Deshaun Watson to show that he can beat you. He did not look good last year. He did not play a single snap in the preseason. Now, they gave him another weapon in Judy. You got Amari Cooper. You still got Njoku at tight end. They have a lot of weapons on this team for Cleveland. And so it's going to be about stopping the run and making this team one-dimensional. And then, obviously, you're going to get the matchups. Trayvon Diggs may follow Amari Cooper, but I really got a feeling like you're going to see a lot of zone coverage from this Dallas Cowboy defense. And then
he's not going to want it to be easy reads for Watson, because if he sees Diggs traveling with Amari, that's an easy look for Watson. Correct. At the end of the day, I don't think Zimmer's going to do that. Yeah.
No, and I think So Amazing is right. He's going to try and confuse Deshaun Watson. He's going to disguise a lot of things, and it may look like cover 3, and then when he snaps the ball, it's cover 6. And he's not going to know where to go. And it's going to be, can we put some pressure on them? Can we stop the run? And then can we control the clock? I expect the Cowboys to come out here and really, I'm expecting them to dominate the Cleveland Browns. And I expect this to be a big win for us, 28-14.
Right. I love it. I mean, you also mentioned that Nick Chubb is out, but they also do have Jerome Ford, who actually was kind of like filling in pretty good for Nick Chubb.
Oh, he played well
all of last season. So, I mean, we can't like really overlook that. But I think, like you guys have been saying, if we stop the run, the Cleveland really don't have anything else, because you're going to really put it in the hands of Deshaun Watson, who has yet to even prove that Trey was even worthy enough. Like, he ain't been performing. I mean, I know he was out and injured or whatever, but even before the injury, like, he wasn't even looking like the Deshaun Watson of the Texans. So I think that's an advantage.
Yeah, he's really going to have to really, and for him to like embarrass us and to like go up 2 scores on us, he's really going to have to go out there and show out and be like, climb the pocket, escape, maybe run for first down. Like, if I see him doing that, then maybe as a fan, I'll be like, oh, okay, maybe Watson still got it. But if I see him running backwards, trying to figure out where he's throwing the ball downfield, he's running out of bounds, throwing the ball out of bounds, that's when I know we got him. But the minute he starts stepping up into the pocket, he starts breaking out, that's why I'll get a little nervous, because now I'm like, okay, maybe he still got it. Because that's the Watson that we're all afraid of, right? We're afraid of the Watson that when he stands in the pocket, he steps into the pocket, he finds a gap, and he darts off. That's the Deshaun Watson that we don't want to see as Cowboy fans on Sunday. But I personally think offensively, to alleviate that pass rush that Browns have, we need to establish that run game. Interior, their DTs are not as strong as our interior. So when we talk about matchups, that's the matchup that we need to win, because they're going to try to blitz us and run man coverage because they do got great corners. Yeah. Now, if we have to throw deep, that's a plus for the Browns, because if we have to throw the ball deep, that means that's more time for Zadarius Smith. That's more time for Myles Garrett to get to Dak. And if you give those boys time, they gonna get Dak. And there might be a sack fumble, and we're gonna be some pissed off fans. So to alleviate that, you need to run the interior. Powers, like you said, draws, powers. You got it. Pound it right in between that center and guard and see what happens. Now, if it doesn't work, then we got to figure it out offensively, play calling. But I think that is the key part, and quick slants, because I think the person that's gonna make a play, and this is my dark horse, I think it's gonna be a tight game. I think it's gonna be 17-13 that we win. I don't think it's gonna be big. I think we win 17-13 in a close one. But I don't even think it's CeeDee Lamb that's going to be the big player. I think it's either going to be Rico Dowell or Brandon Cooks that wins this game.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it. I mean, I like everything you guys have been saying. I mean, I don't like Mike's low scoring game because I want to see the Cowboys just come out and just drop 40 or 50 on somebody on week
I
one
know.
because football is back, okay? And Cowboys are back. So I want to see the Cowboys drop 40 or 50 on the Cleveland Browns this week because I've been missing football for months and it's back and it's our freaking year. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say. But I mean, I just want the W. I mean, I don't care if it's ugly, cute, whatever. Just to get the W. I don't care if we win by 3, 7, low scoring, rainy, snowy. Just get the W, Cowboys. We cannot start the year off with an L and try to rebound because our schedule is kind of tough in the beginning part of the year. So we got to get these dubs like now. And I don't think the Browns are an elite team. They're not a bad team. They're a decent team. But it's definitely not a team we should be losing to with the firepower that we have on offense and defense. Like, we got to get this dub. Mike McCarthy has to be real creative with the play calling. I mean, he did decent last year as well. The play calling was okay. As long as he don't have, like, no time management issues or forget to, like, do some crazy stuff. We don't need that Mike McCarthy. We need the sharp Mike McCarthy to just come out, call these plays, and score, and Dak Prescott need to execute. Everybody really needs to execute. I know a lot of people talk about Jerry Jones, but without Jerry Jones, we wouldn't have the players that we have. You got to, at some point, you got to hold the players accountable and be like, hey, the players are just not executing. We wouldn't be in these contract situations if it weren't for Jerry. We got to pay Dak, we got to pay CeeDee, we got to pay Micah, and just think like over the course of these years, we didn't have the superstars that we had to pay, and who drafted them? I mean, come on. It ain't his fault. Some of it is his fault, but at the end of the day, the players got to execute. And as fans, we can say that they haven't been executing. Jerry ain't out there throwing interceptions. He ain't out there missing defensive assignments. I mean, what else we need to talk about? He has some responsibility, but it's not all his responsibility. You know what I'm saying?
I'm excited. It's football season. I'm like Dak. I want my hands ready out to go. Here we go. Like
the best cadence in the whole NFL. The best cadence, and it's in Madden too.
Well, not according to Cam Newton. And I see you, Cam, out there. If you want to reply on this comment, you can. And don't be trying to play my quarterback's cadence. All right, Cam? I love you. You had a great season. I enjoyed watching you, Super Cam.
What was Cam's?
Don't be playing.
Right quick. What was it?
His? I think he was like wide 80, something like that.
I mean, that got the best.
It doesn't beat. Here we go.
It really does. So week 1, we all got the Cowboys winning, man. I hope that we all come up here next week and when we talk about the Cowboys and how they perform, and we got like so much good things to say about the Cowboys and be totally positive about the Cowboys and how we starting off the year 1-0. Because that's every fan's dream, is to start the year off with a W and like have some sort of faith in your team, man. But just talking within the division, we got some games that's going to be happening within the division. Obviously, I believe the Cowboys are going to take the division. I don't think the Eagles, the Giants, or the Commanders are going to really challenge the Cowboys for the division. Obviously, we got the Eagles. They signed Saquon Barkley or whatever, but I think they're going to probably go backwards with this new addition. But overall, I got the Cowboys winning our division. But you got Eagles and Packers on Friday, and then you got Giants and Vikings, and I'm not sure or if I even care about who the Commanders play. Obviously, they got Dan Quinn.
They play the Bucks.
They play the Bucks. So let's talk about those predictions real quick and who you got.
I think just to give quick predictions on those 3 games, let's start with the first one. I think Eagles-Packers game, I think it's really cool that it's in Brazil. Listen, I think it's international. They're trying to expand the league. That's a tough matchup for the Eagles. I'll be honest. That's not easy. I think the Packers win that game. I don't think the Eagles are. I don't think they're ready. I just don't think they're. I don't think they're there mentally yet. Still, I think that they're gonna have to go through the. I think Packers win that game. I don't see the Giants winning their first game. I don't see that. They're still trying to figure it out. And I mean, the Commanders. I feel like they probably win off of defense. So I think out of the whole division, I think Cowboys win. Commanders win, and I think Giants and Eagles take L's first week.
Yeah, I think obviously the Packers-Eagles game is going to be the one we watch the most. It's tomorrow. It's the only game on Friday. Everybody will be tuned in. It's in Brazil. That's pretty cool. But I think the Eagles actually improved getting Saquon Barkley at running back. If he's healthy with that offensive line, that's pretty dangerous. Obviously, they have two really good wide receivers.
Saquon's good. I will say
They got two
that.
great wide receivers in A.J. Brown and Devontae. They still got Dallas Goedert at tight end. They're good. They improved in their defense. I still think their secondary's got some question marks outside of big play Slay. They got some questions in that secondary. And then Jordan Love, you just gave Jordan Love a big contract. He's got a lot to prove this year. We'll see. I think it's going to be real close. Obviously, I'm rooting for the Packers. I hope the Packers win. And so I'm going to go with the Packers just because I don't want to see the Eagles win. The Giants, I feel the same way. Kind of like So Amazing said, they got a lot of problems in New York. Is Daniel Jones the guy? I don't think he is. They're struggling. They got a great young rookie wide receiver. But I think the Giants get beat. Now the Vikings are in the same kind of boat. You know, they lose their quarterback for the year in J.J. McCarthy. So it's going to be the battle of the mid quarterback there in Minnesota versus New York. So I'm taking Minnesota just because I don't want to see the Giants win. And then you got the Commanders and the Bucks. We love Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield's a really good quarterback. I got to meet Baker Mayfield one time. He's a really cool dude. And I can't stand the Commanders, so I'm picking the Bucks to win that one too. Everybody goes 0-1 except the Cowboys.
Right. And the only reason why I say the Eagles might have got worse because the last two seasons, the Eagles running backs went over 1,000 yards rushing each season. They had Swift, they had Myles Garrett, and both those seasons they went over like 1,000 yards.
They don't run the football.
Yeah,
they don't run the football.
That's the biggest thing. And they got
the offensive coordinators were horrible.
Yeah.
But I think that they're going to run the ball well. Okay, so the offensive coordinators continue to be horrible. Okay, got it.
So, and we know how much Kellen Moore loves to run
the ball. We're going to find out, can Saquon Barkley throw it? Because they're going to throw it at some point with Saquon in some kind of reverse pass with the running back. You know how Kellen Moore is.
Yeah, so he doesn't like really run the ball anyway. I mean, is Saquon going to probably go over 1,000 yards? Probably.
Yes.
But they also lost Jason Kelce, but the Eagles, they got to figure out what type of team that they are. They're a running team, passing team, because you got 1,000-yard backs, but then at certain points in the game, in critical games at that, you just abandon the run even when it's working.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Eagles, and they got Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is going to like make sure they stay in the dumps. So I hope.
I just think mentally they need to figure out as a team, like because watching their meltdown the last 2-3 weeks of the NFL season was crazy to me.
Fun.
They went
you said the wrong word. It was fun.
Yeah,
it was fun to watch them implode.
It was fun as a fan, a Cowboy fan.
As a Cowboy fan, yeah.
I was like, I just watched them melt away. I was like, damn.
Listen, if you an Eagle fan, screw the Eagles. We don't like the Eagles. I don't care. And I don't curse. But if I cursed, I'll say a different word. Screw the Eagles.
Yeah. I don't care.
I love the Eagles just like going down. Like they was 10-1, and then next thing you know, lost.
0-17. That's the greatest thing that can happen. 0-17.
Yeah. I hope they never figure it out. I hope the Giants never figure it out. I hope the Commanders never figure it out. Like I hope all the other 31 teams in the NFL never figure it out. I hope they just like all of a sudden just start sucking. Okay, like I love that the 49ers Trent Williams held out. I think that's going to like cause their team to suck. I mean, come on, man, you can't be holding out.
Yeah.
So all the other 31 teams, I hope you never figure it out. And if you're having a good year, I hope all of a sudden you just start having the bad year. So I wish that, okay? Everybody but my Cowboys, man. It's our year, okay? It really is. But week 1 is coming up, man. Cowboys coming up. Silver and Blue Huddle. Season 2 is back. The boys are back. Your favorite Cowboy content creators are back. So amazing. Expert cornerback Richblkman is back. We're excited for this season. We don't know what's going to happen, but we hope that we're going to have a successful season, one that's better than what we had before and the years before that. And we hope this is finally the year that we get another Super Bowl. I mean, what better time than now? Like, what better time than now? It's time to do it. Anything else you guys got before we get out of here?
No, appreciate y'all. Y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Yes. Join us every single week for the Silver and Blue Huddle.
All right. We'll be back. Silver and Blue next week. Peace out.